This is FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast.
FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. Get ready for the latest in film news, TV show news, and theatrical reviews. FilmBook's podcast starts now.
Hello everyone, welcome to FilmBookCast, the official podcast of FilmBook. My name is Chris Banks. If you're tuning into FilmBookCast for the first time, welcome. What I do on this podcast is discuss the latest film and TV show news. I also review an in-theater film. You can find more about FilmBookCast on film-book.com by using the search term FilmBookCast. You can also email us at podcast@film-book.com with FilmBookCast in the subject line. Let's jump right into it this week. TV news from this week: Daredevil MCU reboot is reportedly in development. Looks like Charlie Cox will stay busy inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. According to Production Weekly, a Daredevil reboot is in the works at Marvel Studios. Key details are scarce, but the show will likely star Charlie Cox and stream on Disney+. Cox famously starred in Netflix's Marvel Daredevil series. We'll keep up with news about if Daredevil really is going to get a reboot. Some more TV news from this week. According to Variety, the White Lotus's star Alexandra Daddario is going to lead AMC's forthcoming Mayfair Witches, based on Anne Rice's supernatural horror novel trilogy of the same name. She's set to portray the role of a brilliant doctor named Rowan who grapples with her fear as the heir to a family of powerful witches. We'll keep up with news about Mayfair Witches as it's probably going to start production this year at AMC. The last bit of TV news we'll talk about this week: fans of Jack Black should be excited, as the actor is going to return for Netflix's series adaptation of Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight. Jack Black is going to reprise his role as Dragon Warrior Po. The streamer series will be available on Netflix, and we got some first look photos this week giving us a first look at Po's newest enemies in the form of a powerful weasel. The plot synopsis of Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight is when a mysterious pair of weasels set their sights on a collection of 4 powerful weapons, Po must leave his work and embark on a globe-trotting quest for redemption and justice that finds him partnered up with no-nonsense English knight named Wandering Blade. Together, these two mismatched warriors set out on an epic adventure to find the magical weapons first and save the world from destruction, and they may even learn a thing or two from each other along the way. Awesome news for fans of Jack Black. We'll keep up with news about Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight. That's it for TV news from this week. Let's switch up gears and check out some film news from this week. Fans of Harry Potter will, I'm sure, be disappointed, as Daniel Radcliffe recently gave an interview in which he stated that he wasn't really interested in coming back for Chris Columbus's expressed interest to direct the trio of Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint again in the film adaptation of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Columbus said earlier in the year how he was inspired by how J.J. Abrams did the latest Star Wars trilogy. But this week in the New York Times, Daniel Radcliffe said that the idea of working on the film was, quote, really not something I'm interested in doing right now. He goes on to say, quote, this isn't the answer that anybody's going to want, but I think I was so able to go back and enjoy it because it was not a part of my day-to-day life anymore. I think he's referring to the reunion special on HBO Max. He continues, quote, I'm getting to a point where I feel like I made it out of Potter, okay? And I'm really happy where I am right now. We'll keep up with news about this, as I'm sure that Chris won't just give up his hope anytime soon, and fans of Harry Potter have been waiting for something to break for a while now, so we'll keep up with news about this, but interesting news from Daniel Radcliffe this week. Some more film news from this week is exciting news from Denis Villeneuve, as Dune Part Two screenplay is finished, and they're actually going ahead with production much sooner than I anticipated. He recently gave an interview this week, and he said, quote, the screenplay is finished mostly, but it's always a work in progress. It'll be a work in progress until final cut, but I will say it's solidified. I have a script in my hands. We are in prep right now, end quote. While the screenplay may be evolving, one aspect of the film that will only continue to grow is its use of IMAX. Villeneuve also touched on that aspect, noting that he and cinematographer Greg Fresher fell in love with the format while filming the first film, and that there will probably be even more of it in the future film. Villeneuve continued, quote, definitely Greg and I fell in love with IMAX, and definitely there'd be even more IMAX footage in this movie, definitely, end quote. Wrapping up the week in film news, after nearly a decade of development, Puss In Boots is getting a sequel. Deadline reported this week that Universal Pictures has assembled an all-star voice cast to join previously announced returning star Antonio Banderas, who is reprising his role as the feline swordsman. Joining Puss In Boots: The Last Wish is Florence Pugh, Olivia Colman, Harvey Ravi Guyen, John Milani, Divine Joy Randolph, Anthony Mendez, Samson Koyo, and Ray Winestone. In addition, Salma Hayek is officially reprising her voice role as Kitty Softpaws. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is co-created by Joel Crawford and Joel Mercado. That's it for film news. Now let's switch up gears and check out some home releases from this week. West Side Story is now available on DVD. This reimagining of the beloved musical West Side Story tells the classic tale of fierce rivalries and young love in 1957 New York City. West Side Story got an 85 Metascore and is now available on DVD. Red Rocket is now available on DVD. Mikey Saber is a washed-up porn star who returns to his small Texas hometown. Not that anybody really wants him back. Red Rocket got a 76 Metascore and is now available on DVD. The Whaler Boy is now available on DVD. 15-year-old Leshka lives in an isolated village on the Bering Strait. Like most men where he lives, he is a whale hunter. When internet arrives in the village, he becomes infatuated with a webcam model from America, so far away and yet almost close enough to see across the waters of the strait. Coming of age in the male-dominated whaling community, Leshka's encounter with this mysterious woman awakens him to a desire to find love outside of the confines of his tiny world. Leshka becomes determined to meet her in real life, setting forth a dangerous adventure across the raging waters of the sea. The Whaler Boy got a 70 Metascore and is now available on DVD. The Boy Behind the Door is now available on DVD. After Bobby and his best friend Kevin are kidnapped and taken to a strange house in the middle of nowhere, Bobby manages to escape, but as he starts to make a break for it, he hears Kevin screams for help and realizes he can't leave his friend behind. The Boy Behind the Door got a 65 Metascore and is now available on DVD. John in the Hole is now available on DVD. While exploring the neighborhood woods, 13-year-old John discovers an unfinished bunker, a deep hole in the ground. Seemingly, without provocation, he drugs his affluent parents and his older sister and drags their unconscious bodies into the bunker, where he holds them captive. As they anxiously wait for John to free them from the hole, the boy returns home where he can finally do what he wants. John in the Hole got a 61 Metascore and is now available on DVD. Let's check out some TV trailers from this week. A show that's coming out on May 9th on Hulu, it's titled Candy and it stars Jessica Biel. It just released its first trailer this week and I'm still trying to piece it together. It looks like it's going to be crazy. Jessica Biel plays Candy Montgomery. She's a 1980s housewife and mother who did everything right. A good husband, 2 kids, nice house, even the careful planning and execution of transgressions. But when the pressure of conformity builds within her, her actions scream for just a bit of freedom, with deadly results. Check out the trailer for Candy. It stars Jessica Biel and will be on Hulu starting May 9th. Another new trailer that dropped this week is the second season of HBO Max's hit series, The Flight Attendant. The Kaylee Cuoco-led series will return on Thursday, April 21st. 2 episodes will be released, and 2 episodes will be released every week until April 28th, and then 1 episode will be released until May 26th. The trailer's super fun. This season looks like they took it up a lot of notches. Check out the trailer for The Flight Attendant. It'll debut on HBO Max April 21st. Wrapping up the week in TV trailers, we'll check out HBO's 3rd season of Barry. It just dropped a trailer this week. It'll debut on HBO April 24th. The trailer seems to hint that the action will pick right back up where Barry's 2nd season left off, where his former friend revealing to Gene that Barry was a hitman. Check out the trailer for the 3rd season of Barry. You'll catch it on HBO April 24th. That's it for TV trailers. Let's switch up gears and check out some film trailers from this week. A film that just came out today is titled The Outfit, from Academy Award winner of The Imitation Game. A gripping and masterful thriller in which an expert tailor, played by Mark Rylance, must outwit a dangerous group of mobsters in order to survive a fateful night. Check out the trailer for The Outfit. It looks awesome. It reminds me of The Imitation Game, but it's honestly very intriguing. I'm gonna go see this. It just came out today in theaters. Check out the trailer for The Outfit. It's only in theaters. Another film trailer that debuted this week is a glorious return of Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. After burning through 8 lives, Puss in Boots sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore all 9 of his lives. Antonio Banderas is back, and it looks awesome. Check out the trailer for Puss in Boots. It'll debut in theaters September 23rd. The last film trailer we'll check out this week is Some Stories Just Never Die. There's a film coming out next week, a chilling, suspenseful adaptation of the New York Times bestseller So Cold the River. The film stars Joy, who's hired by Alice Bradford to profile her dying father-in-law, the enigmatic millionaire Campbell Bradford. Erica is presented with a substantial sum of money and a relic, an antique bottle filled with water from a local spring, one of the few clues connecting Bradford to the town he once dominated. While researching Bradford as a guest of a massive opulent resort with a dark past, Erica meets unofficial town historian Anne McKinney, fanatical intern Kellen, and hotel maintenance worker Josiah, a descendant of Bradford who reveals the family's curse of mysterious deaths and suicides. Seemingly possessed by the relic, Erica begins drinking from the antique bottle, experiencing terrifying visions and ultimately unleashing unspeakable evil. Can Erica make her way through the darkness, or is Campbell's evil undercurrent just too strong? Check out the trailer for So Cold the River. It'll be in theaters March 25th and on Apple TV March 29th. That's it for movie trailers from this week. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of FilmBookCast. You can find more of my work on film-book.com. Just search for Chris Banks or FilmBookCast. You can also find me on Twitter. I'm at cbanksy. That's S-E-E Banksy. I'm also on Instagram at @TheChrisBanks. If you listen to this podcast on iTunes or another podcast service, please rate and review this episode. If you're listening to this podcast on our YouTube channel, FilmBook Podcast, please like our video, subscribe to our channel, and leave us a comment in the comment section. It really helps other people discover our podcast. Please also consider becoming one of our patrons on Patreon at patreon.com/filmbook. Your support really helps us create more engaging content. You'll find our Patreon link below in the description. If you want to tweet about this podcast, just use the hashtag FilmBookCast. Tune in next week for the next episode of the FilmBookCast. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you then.